Hello, hello. Happy September. This is our energy update slash reading for September for all of you beautiful empaths, highly sensitive people, change makers, visionaries, all of you basically saying no to living life on autopilot and paving your own way, which we know is much more challenging, but also much more rewarding, right? So you are my tribe, and so I love to support you. Okay. I'm doing it just a little different. I feel like every month I do it just a little different. But what I did today was I shuffled it up and I laid it all out and we'll reveal it together. But I figured, we're all busy people, so we can just shed a little bit of time off of this for you. All right. So here we go. Starting with, we have the tea leaf cards. What I like to do with these is just sort of this overall outlook of the month, what we're looking at. So what we have first is, the rabbit. Too much concern over sexual matters. So what have you all been up to? All right, let's see what that is about. Ah, the purse. Pay attention to your finances. Mm. And the yoke. Feeling tied down or frustrated. Okay. So what I tend to find is as we, lean into the rest of it, the T cards start to make more sense. Um, but just that, really quick, what immediately comes up with that yoke, and I feel like this has come up before. I'm trying to remember if it was actually last month as well, because last month, a big lesson in the, as I go through with my community and I do all of our ongoing energy updates and things, a big part of it was letting go of what's no longer serving you. And more in the way of, yes, we want to always be doing that emotionally and mentally, right? Our mindset, our beliefs, and everything. But this was more in the what is eating your time that might feel heavy. Um, and so I almost wonder if, as you're, you know, freeing yourself, right? Freeing yourself of the burdens, the heaviness, the stuff where we want to make things more difficult than they need to be, really, because that's just what our human brains want to do. As we release some of that, I almost wonder if maybe this is where these two come into play. I mean, too much concern with sexual matter. I don't know how that could always be ever be a thing, but anyway. So with that, and it's funny how I don't lay these out to coincide with these areas, but let's just look at how that worked out, the coincidences here. So I think it laid itself out to do this because this over here is our love and relationships area. Okay. This over here is our passion and purpose, where we come with the money. And here is spirituality and growth, where we're looking at feeling tied down. So, kind of interesting. And I think, even though I didn't intentionally do that, I think perhaps the cards did. So, I always preface love and relationships with the fact that this is not necessarily an area of romance. This could be friendship, this could be family. I find that it is whoever is taking up rent in your mind, right? Whoever's renting out your mind right now, this is who is usually coming up. Now, with all that being said, considering that we've got the rabbit here showing up, it may be a romance section. And so, again, as always, take what resonates, leave behind what doesn't. Yeah, of course. Okay, so for love and relationship, we have trust. Trust, trust, trust. Isn't that just what has been coming up constantly in every area of our lives. uh, we have a Pluto in retrograde, which has been since I believe May, and it will be until October 12th. Yes, I know the date that it goes direct. Yes, sorry, Bob. Because it has been bringing a lot of challenges and a lot of tests. And through all of that, uh, we must trust. And if I remember correct, now I'm trying to remember if it was last month or the month before, where it was about relationships being the really the catalyst of our growth. And so I'm wondering if maybe this is where we are coming back to that lesson is within love and relationships to trust. So in getting some clarity, what I've done today, you can see it's two different cards for each area because we're in the season of llamas, right? This is the mid-season between winter and I don't know where I just went between summer. I like apparently went to a different hemisphere between summer and fall. So summer is a season of fire, the dragons. So I've pulled one dragon card, and fall is earth. And so I pulled a Gaia card. Okay. So looking at that, we have magenta dragon. Get that so there's not a glare. All right. And magenta dragon is enabling you to bring forward your soul wisdom. Accelerated ascensions here. Okay. And our earth card, is showing us the search. Feeling lost, confused, lonely. Yeah. So here's the deal. Shit doesn't always make sense for us, right? Oh, yeah. If I hadn't mentioned, like, I'm spiritual, but I cuss. So I'm just keeping it real. Okay. So if you're new to working with me, this is kind of how I roll. If you're offended, there's so many other ways to get this information. So do it in a way that honors you. Okay. All right. So that being said, yeah, things may not make sense. Right now, it's not for you to understand, it's for you to trust. Okay? Trust the process, trust the divine timing, trust what's going on, because it is leading you to your higher level. I mean, I say it many times. We are like the most evolved people until we get into relationship, right? And then all of a sudden, all our stuff comes up. This is where we really put things to the test. This is where we truly grow as humans, is within our relationships with each other, whether it be romantic, friendship, family, all of the things, all of the relationships. So, yeah, whoever this is that's weighing on you now, whoever this is that is at the front of your mind, I'm kind of getting a mixed bag. I feel like for some people, there's like this really euphoric feeling, and maybe that's where this rabbit's coming in. And for other people, there's a heavy feeling. Like, so amongst my beautiful souls out there, there's a bit of a split, a little bit of a divide on this section. Um, but we all have the same guidance is essentially what it's saying. You don't need to understand it right now. It's not for you to understand, it's for you to experience. Be in the moment. Stop trying to figure things out. Stop trying to control things. Trust. Trust that, first of all, trust that you've got this. You are an empathic being, right? Trust the messages that you are receiving, trust those feelings that you are receiving. They will guide you in the right direction. And don't doubt yourself, right? Because if you start moving in the wrong direction, what happens? The universe comes in and steers you right back. right? Trust. Trust. You have a safety net, okay? Everything is going according to plan. Yeah, that's it right there. Everything is going according to plan. Don't worry about understanding it. There it is. Yeah. Okay. Passion and purpose. So going into this, for many of you, your passion, your purpose is what you've made your career, how you earn money. And for others, it's something that you do just as, your presence here on earth, like you support friends or, whatever it is. It might be volunteer. However it is there's no wrong or right. Okay. It doesn't have to look like one thing or another. It's very open, right? We always want to take those blinders off and be open to all the different ways that we can be of service in this world. But ultimately, when we are tapping into our passion and purpose, we feel fulfilled. Yeah. So here's what things look like there. Ah, some change coming up, which has also been the theme of the season, right? Trust and change. Interesting. I just did the new moon reading for my moon goddesses, and yeah, change was major, major as the theme in that reading. Okay. So let's see what else we have to. Kuan Yin's pink dragon brings firm love that resets your karmic balance. Take that in for a second. Which is interesting because this sort of taps into the freedom where we were seeing over here a little bit. So let's see. Let's see what our grounding earth energy says. Oh, moonlight, potential. Hmm. Okay. So changes in the air. Do not fear it, right? Do not clench up. Again, I'm hearing no control again in this area also. No trying to control things. Let them flow. Let them flow. Kind of the same idea. Everything is working out the way it's supposed to. And this might be more of that, like what I was talking about here, letting go of what's not working or what feels heavy, right at the beginning of the summer season. So, right around summer solstice, there was this big wave of energy in my community where people, like, things that they would normally love to do was feeling heavy. And it's like, okay. And they were making themselves wrong, but I love this. I love this. Well, just set it down for a second. Stop, making it a rule that you have to do this. And as soon as they set it down, like, all right, let me just see, let me just put it here for just a second. Like, immediately the answer came in, like, okay, I just wanted to tweak it. This part of it was feeling heavy, but not the whole thing. But that one part of it was stalling it. It was blocking the energy. It was locking things up, right? So, right, we have that moonlight keeping us in that feminine energy, right? That flow, that relinquishing the need to control. Um, there's actually a very spiritual business coach she used to say, um, like, imagine driving, but not with your hands gripped on the steering wheel, like white knuckle grip, nice and loose, relaxed, and sort of you're steering the car, but gently, relaxed, with ease and trusting, right? That's the image I'm getting here with this right now. Being in that flow. And again, remember, we're coming up on, so we're mid-season now, but we're coming up on fall equinox. And fall equinox, right? That's, yes, the time of harvest. Like we're already beginning the harvest now, but in the fall, we will be doing it that much more, right? We really are harvesting all of the things that we've been planting throughout this year. But then we also start planting our bulbs for the next year. It's really more of our new year in the fall than at January 1st. So all of this is opening things up. It's clearing things out. It's giving you that clarity of what do I want to be planting? What bulbs, right? So the big rocks, not the little seeds, not the little pebbles, the big things. The big things. Getting that really um clear, higher perspective, the overall vision. This is what we're moving into. We want to see the big picture, and this is opening things up, getting rid of the minutia, getting rid of the static so that you can see the big picture coming into fall. Okay? All right. So that the next part is spirituality and growth. And you know, what I always like to say about spirituality and growth is, yes, this type of work happens on the meditation mat, on the yoga mat, on the right. We know all of the things that we do in order to make ourselves better people. But this also happens in our day to day, moment to moment, everyday life, living. Okay. And that's actually where the real growth happens when you put all of that namaste from the mat into the real world. That's where you truly grow. Okay. They're not separate. So, mhm, release. Yeah. Yeah. This is again interesting because these have been the big themes right now. Um, Yeah, release what is not serving, what feels heavy. Do not make yourself have to do something because this is what you've always done or this is the vision. Remember, in the pursuit of something, you grow and you change in the pursuit. So that means the goal changes too, right? So let's get some clarity. We have our orange gold dragon from Arcturus. Mmm. Opening you to knowledge for the new golden age. And I mean, I think it's really clear that we're in a time of flux in this world, right? Things are changing big time and, breakdown before the breakthrough. So again, have some more trust about that. But I truly believe that it is going to be our empaths, our highly sensitive people, our change makers, our visionaries who will be leading the changes, who will be leading the way that the world shifts. And through releasing your doubts, your worries, your fears, your limiting beliefs, your traumas, the past experiences, right? By releasing that, you are opening up space to receive the wisdom that honestly that you already have. It's just kind of getting blocked by all this other static, more static, right? Let that shit go. Let it out. Let's see. Mm, thinking of you. Loving thoughts, serendipity, huh. Honestly, that that's you right there. You shining that light. That was actually, you know what? That was actually I'm gonna just, so in my community where we have the group Oh Shift Here We Grow, and we often we get Affirmations based on the energy every day, right? And today's is I am allowing my inner light to shine so brightly, and I accept and embrace it without backing down. That's this right here. You're letting that light shine, and that whole thinking of you, this is people seeing you, seeing your light, seeing you guide them. You're the lighthouse. You're the lighthouse. You're guiding others into their shift, into their change, into their more fulfilled way of being, loving, thinking, however this shows up for you. However, like, so back to here, right? Maybe it's the work that you do for a living, or maybe it's just, how you show up every day, how you tell the person in the grocery store that you like their outfit, or right? Like, that's the kind of stuff, a kind word that makes such an amazing difference in someone's life. All right. And so we have our messages from the guides. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Creativity. You are creating, okay? You're creating everything in your mind. So again, more of this, right? That kind of clearing out what's not really serving you, just one of the things I keep hearing is well, that like, it never works out for me. It didn't work out for me when I tried this before. Like, things don't work out for me. Yeah, I believe that these things work. It just doesn't work for me. Like, this is what I keep hearing every time I do these readings. So, I mean, I'm called out. So I don't know if you are too, right? But you're creating with all that. So again, go back to that releasing, release. Oh, and then yeah, here we're coming back with the what is tying you down, what's making you frustrated, releasing all of that because you are a powerful creator. Powerful. So just watch what you're creating, right? No mismanifestations, please. Shame. Your guides are calling on you to heal your shame. Okay. And so this might require diving into the shadows a little bit. Um, just worked with a friend of mine doing this, and she understandably didn't want to dive into the shadows. I mean, who really wants to? But sometimes the issue is pressed by the universe, and so we do it. But again, back to that trust, knowing that on the other side it's so much better, right? So much better. It takes us off that hamster wheel, okay? Give yourself some grace. A lot of times the shame is around mistakes that you've made in the past. Let that go. You're here not to be perfect, but to grow, and that takes some trial and error, okay? Yeah, and I feel compelled to say, you know, if you ever read, it's a children's book, honestly, and I think they did end up making an adult book out of it, but Little Soul in the Sun, and it's just a cute little children's book, totally worth reading. But it talks about how when you're a soul, like when you're this beautiful being of light before you come into this human body, you agree to take on some certain lessons in order to grow your soul, in order to raise your vibration. And some other beautiful souls that are there agree to come and be your challenge. Ultimately, almost the villain in your story, right? And they do that because they love you so much, even though they might lose their own way along in the process. But they're willing to sacrifice that for you. Know that maybe you were the villain in somebody's story. Maybe not even intentionally. I think most of the time it's not. But that was just the role that you were asked to play, that you agreed to play because you loved that person so much. Might not feel it. You might not feel like it here on this side, but that is the case. So find yourself again by letting go of any shame around that, any heartache, any guilt. Give yourself grace. From your past experiences, you gain wisdom. Use that wisdom to move forward. And deprivation. It is time to stop depriving yourself. This is your prosperity guides, okay? Prosperity. You deserve good things. Now, they will not come until you release that shame, until you release what's not serving you, right? And so that's, I think, where our finances are coming up too. Prosperity, of course, will show up in, it's abundance in so many ways: love, relationships, money, opportunities, so many different ways. But I think we are getting some indication here that the abundance will be showing up as some money when you do your work. Okay. And our final, our final one is our Rumi card. Um, I love these because I feel like they always recap a reading so beautifully and so poetically. Much better than I could have said. Divine discontent. The Rumi quote is, "Winter falls upon us so spring can bring new growth." And that's that diving into the shadows. So it looks like we're going to be doing a little bit of shadow stuff here this month. I'm sorry. I mean, you got this. It is okay. It is okay. Trust. Back to that trust. And it's interesting because our three areas, usually I feel like they're kind of, they're not separate. Like, there's no division, but sometimes they all seem to tell their own story. Whereas this month, I feel like they are all blending into one story. Okay. So, yeah, this is all sort of washing together. So let's see what the message is. What was prized and treasured is now found to be plated, not the precious gold it was esteemed to be. Look beyond what is. There is a true feast meant for you, not a meager meal. Allow your hungry hearted soul to lead you toward the banquet table. Yes, beautiful. And in that, like I said, I'm sensing that as you do this work, yeah, I said to the other day to my friend, like, when you go into the shadows, you don't have to go in and make yourself miserable. You don't have to feel it so painfully, that you can't stand it. You can just go in and witness it, acknowledge it, know that it's there. Forgive everybody involved, whether that be someone else or yourself, and release it, right? But just pay attention to the memory. Oops, see, there's the alarm. It's telling us that we're right on track. um Pay attention to the random memories that show up, the random thoughts that, like, I hadn't thought about that in a long time, and maybe dig into that a little bit, because that is probably the shadow work that you are meant to uncover. Okay. And remember, every winter brings spring. It, yeah, that's every winter brings spring. So we will just get some of this, and then we're moving into harvest. It's all good. It's all good. All right. All right. I hope this was helpful for you. If you'd like some more support, reach out. I have O Shift Here We Grow. I have the Moon Goddess Collective. Got a couple ways to support you through the day to day with these things. And as always, I see you. I love you. I believe in you. Have a good one.